Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Triple P and J. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Today we are going to be talking about...
Subscribe.
We're going to be talking about this controversial topic of step parents in general, with the whole McDonald's situation, as far as like you're a stepdad.
I'm sorry, Rebecca, we cannot blow past this. Like, share, and subscribe.
And if you haven't already, subscribe.
Comment while you're at it.
That's the one.
So yeah.
But hey y'all.
Hey.
You haven't noticed we're freezing, so it's okay.
Well, they're freezing.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm not.
Okay, so we're talking about what?
Yeah. Go ahead, since you know.
Just calm down.
So I was recommended by a friend to talk about the controversial topic of step parents. I'm not gonna say dads in general, providing for other kids
That aren't there.
that aren't theirs.
Alright,
So-
let's get into it.
We'll kind of get into that. I think some of our peers have brought up a fact that like it just kind of, in their opinion, it depends on like if are they in a relationship, because if you're not really with like your the baby mama, or like I'm gonna say baby mama, then you're just there to provide for your child. Then you shouldn't have to take care. Let's just say she has like 3 kids, and
they're not together.
They're not together, and then you come by and you bring something. Let's just say everybody says McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or something. That it's I guess it's supposed to be a problem.
Can I interject?
Yeah, please do.
If you have had a relationship with this person and you have built a relationship with their kids, why wouldn't you bring that child something to eat?
Right.
I can agree with that.
Now, if y'all were dating, you never met the kids, and then y'all had a kid, then okay, you brought your child something to eat.
Brought them some McDonald's.
You never
know
met
what
the
I'm
kids
saying?
before.
Yeah, but I was
Right.
told you should honestly probably just take your kid out, get the McDonald's, and then bring them back. Cause then you ain't gotta like stir the pot.
How about we cook and just eliminate that whole scenario?
Yeah.
How about we just be at the house and cook?
Yeah, but for the sake of the situation, most people aren't doing that,
You're
or they
right.
don't always have time to do it.
Yeah.
So, cause when we were growing up, shit, we was always asking our parents for McDonald's. I know y'all got hit with that.
You got McDonald's money?
My dad
No.
knew.
Right. My daddy knew.
I mean, I will agree with you on that. Yeah, like if the parents, if you're in a relationship with somebody, and you go and you're not just gonna take care of one kid, you're gonna take care of all the kids around the house. You know.
Because at one point, if you were in the house, you were taking care of all the kids that were
Right. Mm-hmm. But if you're not in the house, like this is.
If you're not part of the house.
Of the house, no.
Yeah.
No.
Why would you even want to do that anyway?
Right.
Look, I don't have kids, so it's
Shit, none of us do.
boom, there it is. So me personally, if for God, whatever earthly reason that happens to me, I'm gonna take my kid with me. I'm gonna come over. I'm gonna be cordial. I'm gonna pick my son, daughter up, and we're gonna go do something. And then I'm gonna bring them back.
Right.
I'm not just gonna pull over the house like that's to me. I think that's kind of petty. You know, I got you.
Don't eat it in the car.
You ever see those videos and the kids like they got their kids crying like, ah! Like what? Yeah. Then same thing when he was like, one was taking his child to Disneyland, and he's picking his child up from to take him to Disneyland, and the other kids found out and they're just screaming, fucking crying.
For what? Have your mom take you?
Yeah, or have your dad take you. You know.
If he's there.
Right. So Yeah.
So,
So if you're a child and you watching this and your daddy ain't taking care of you, or your mommy ain't taking care of you, or vice versa, because I'm not gonna stick the role on just any specific parental figure in your life.
right.
Shame on that.
So, we're on the topic of step parents. How do y'all feel about step parents whooping the child that's not theirs? How do y'all feel about that?
If you're the
If you are the
The
father
parenting
or
figure
parental figure in that family, then
Yes.
if you've
Yes.
been there long enough
You know?
to raise that child from
right,
But what if the actual parent is still in the picture but not in that household?
then there has to be some type of co-parent dynamic where I tell you what's going on with your child and you tell me when that child acts up.
there should be a there should be a level of boundaries and understanding. Because
How do you feel?
you about to whoop somebody else's child.
Well, I mean, we didn't get I had step parents. I had stepdads. I've had stepmoms.
When did you become a stepchild?
When I was like, I want to say like 5, 6.
And and you did get whooped.
Yes.
How long into the relationship with the new step parent did you get whooped?
I mean, I don't know that.
It's been a hot minute.
It was.
But it's just in general, like just outside of like maybe what you've experienced in. If you were a step parent, how long would it take you to want to have in your relationship with your stepchild before you?
Are we married? The way I look at this is how I look at it.
Technically, not your stepchild, so y'all married.
Right? Yeah, we were married. Yeah, say we're married, and this is my house.
With that ass.
Whoop that ass.
But the way Jalisa was like putting it, she was saying if the other parent was still in the picture.
Okay.
Just
Is your
imagine-
child staying in my house?
Well, what if it was the other way around? If it was your child and somebody else was the step parent?
Y'all
and
take
started
turns.
whooping
I would
your child.
I would expect my child to act decent if they're at this person's house.
And if they're not?
If they're not, that person has every right to tear that ass up.
Okay.
Like that's how I look at it. I mean,
But not all parents feel
They
that
don't.
way, because not every parent is okay with physical discipline.
right?
So-
they're not,
So,
and that's those parents who at work, their fucking
they-
kids are running
yeah,
around
right.
acting like fucking heathens.
Hooligans. Yeah.
well, I had a stepdad, and he never touched me or anything like that. Our relationship was different because my dad was still in the picture at that point too. So it was like he didn't tell me anything at all. He gave his opinion on like what I need to be not doing in the streets and this and that. But as far as like or at school, as far as like physical shit like that, he didn't touch me. I don't think my dad would have allowed that anyway. He probably would have. I don't think he would
But
have
how
allowed
old
that.
were you?
I was like 9.
Okay.
9, 10, 9, and that's when he came into my life. But my dad just wouldn't allow that. He would be like, "That's my son. I'll whoop him. You can correct him, but don't touch my kid."
See, that's because they had that dynamic already, that boundary set already.
No, they didn't have that boundary set. That's the type of person that my dad was. There was
Well,
never, there was never a conversation about it at all.
So basically, it was just like a.
What's understood don't have to be explained, pretty much.
Yeah, they didn't talk about it, but they knew what it was.
Right, barely talk to each other. So yes,
Gotcha. So
each situation's different, I guess. How would you feel?
well, I personally, I would if I was to ask somebody, I would ask my brother this question because he's particularly his dynamic with his son is like that. I don't think that they would condone spanking. Personally,
Who wouldn't?
Why?
it's the face of judgment. It's just
I mean, it's. Hey,
Willis just be like,
I mean, it is what it is. Like, I mean, y'all all know. my take on
but
it.
I'm speaking on something I really haven't
Right.
talked to them about, so I can't say yay or nay what they do. I'm just saying, if I was in that position and my child was with somebody else, I would appreciate, or we would probably have a problem if they would talk to me before they would try to discipline my child in any physical manner. Like, yeah, same thing with you. Like, you can correct him, but you out here to just beat my child up, by whooping his ass because he did something wrong.
Now there is a difference between whooping and beat. There's a difference.
Right.
We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it getting an ass whooping, get your ass beat, we all know.
Right. Yeah, there is a very large difference between that. So yeah.
For the sake of the podcast, me using politically correct terms, getting my ass whooped, I would prefer my child, or I would prefer them to speak to me on when, what kind of like qualifies for them to get their butt whooped. How severe does it have to be? Because I got my butt whooped for having bad grades.
Right. I think we all probably did.
Right. But
until a certain age, yeah.
But I think I would appreciate it if you let me, if it was something like that, if you let me do the disciplining. Like, hey, if I was in the picture, hey, he's got bad grades, you gonna handle that? Yeah.
But see, I just think that opens the door for okay, so and I mean, and I agree with that. Like, let me handle that. I agree with.
There's
you
levels
that.
of co-parenting.
But right, and the thing with it is like if it looks at it like that, whereas the aspect of this child figures out, because kids are smart. I mean, their brains are little sponges. They figure it out. Where you're kind of basically hindering whoever his stepdad. Like the child won't look at the stepdad as an authority figure. They'll just
Yes, they can.
How about whooping?
Right. You don't to become an authority figure. No, like a child will respect somebody. Based on how they handle them, and not all the time do you have to be a threatening.
Well, I don't mean threatening, but essentially the child, because we've all seen this, I'm sure, where it's say the child acts up, does something, knows damn good well he ain't supposed to. What happens whenever the step parent tries to discipline the child, and the notorious "you're not my dad" or "you're not my mom," and so then that person has to then turn around and call the parent.
Well, the first time, the first time that something like that would happen, I was like, by all means.
I mean, but we're forgetting the fact that there's still a biological parent in the house too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So before even having to get the other parent involved, why not involve the other one that's
Well, that's
already
what I'm saying.
still there?
But even then, that person who is a contributing member of the household is just basically all right, I can't do anything. I gotta let this kid. I tell this kid no. They say, well, you're not my parent, and then it turns into, well, let me call its mom or its dad, and I have to sit here.
But then that would be my responsibility as the parent or the biological parent to tell them I'm gonna let them know you better respect them. If we have that relationship enough to where I say, hey, because children have to kind of grow up more or differently than with step parents, and especially if you're in that dynamic, than what it is with some other people who they're not around. I don't know if that's making sense.
No, it does, because I mean it does. I said again, I just go off how I was raised. I've had a stepmom since, like I said, I'm 43, so almost 40 years. I've had a stepmom. I've had several stepdads. Each one of them I have completely respected, and I treated them exactly like my parent growing up as a kid, because it was the idea of me saying you're not my father or mother would I consider my stepmom my mom.
But did they whoop you?
Yes, she whooped my ass.
Right. And
there was certain times in my childhood I remember being more scared of her than I was my mom, because it's I didn't want to piss either one of them off, but I really didn't want to piss my stepmom off.
But that was an established thing between them two, though. At some point, because that had to have been an established thing between them two, because if one or the other didn't appreciate you getting whooped, then
no, my mom, because my mom, you all have met my mom. My mom is one of these listen, if he's acting up here, you tear his ass up and then I'll do it.
Right.
I'm like, There was no it was open season for whoever could get to me fastest. Okay.
You want to whoop his ass because I whoop it in the dog.
Right.
What are we doing here?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's where I come from. That mentality of like, I wouldn't want to put limitations on. Say, God forbid, I have a child one day, and.
But some people do have that.
Some people do, and
like that's what we're trying to get at. Because some people are just like, their one parenting styles are gonna be completely different from the other. Just imagine that situation, and then it's like that's where you create that child of like, oh well, you're not my dad, so you can't do this. So you know like I can't respect you. Da, da, da.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I'm not that I can't respect you. It's just I'm not going to.
Yeah.
And then you got.
But is whooping their ass gonna make them respect you?
Well, not even whooping. Like,
Hell no.
Fuck no, it's gonna make it worse.
Right. Well, like I said, it's not even whooping them, but like, I don't want to
How
have
did you
to.
feel?
Yeah.
I didn't get whooped as a child, so.
And it shows.
At all.
No.
How the fuck did you get out of
Pause. How does it show?
She's a heathen.
You're a heathen?
Yes.
I was trying to defend you, but okay.
I am.
No need.
How did you? Case closed.
Were you just?
I know how to tiptoe around boundaries. Like I know how to do certain. I know
Sneakers.
certain shit is gonna get me in trouble, so I'm gonna do it. You're not gonna find out about it.
Well, you thought they didn't know about it.
They didn't. To this day.
Yeah. I
They
fucking
still
love it.
know.
Nah. I see. It's kind of hard for me to talk about this because I'm all hypothetical at this point. I really don't.
You didn't become a
I
step
feel like-
until your adult life.
I've never been a stepchild.
Wait, you're.
Well, yeah, that
Yeah,
makes
your
sense
dad's
now.
married
My
now.
dad is now married to his current wife.
Yeah, that's why I said
So-
adult life. So
Yeah,
it really
you're-
didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
I never thought about that way. I am a stepchild.
Yeah.
You are-
But like you're
I'm
an
having
adult.
an intervention right now.
Congratulations! Congratulations! Welcome to the family.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you look at her as an adult. You're like, yeah, hey. Whatever.
Yeah, but I'm fully grown now, so I have like the utmost respect for my dad. So whoever comes in his life, I'm gonna automatically give them the benefit of that. So you're gonna have my utmost respect until otherwise. And she's a very respectful, godly woman, so
Yeah.
treat her as such.
Yeah. So again, you never got whooped.
I can't say never.
That belt
That's
ain't
what
never
you
touched
said.
you.
I can't say. I got whooped like once.
That belt ain't
Once.
never kissed your skin at all.
Once.
Once.
Twice. It was never really a
The
belt.
numbers are starting to go up.
I know, like,
It's
you're
never
right.
really a
She's like
belt.
once, twice, like three.
I got whooped once by my dad. My grandma told him to never whoop me again. I never got whooped again.
Who did you stay with more, like when you was growing up?
My grandparents.
Your grandparents.
That's why I swear to God, if I was with my grandma,
Ooh.
I'd be.
Yeah, if I was with either of my parents, it would have been open season on my ass.
Open season. They would be hunting your ass down like free game.
Yeah, too bad you're calling my dad. Hey, you need to talk to her. You yelling at me over the phone.
You lucky I'm over here.
Stay at work. Stay at work.
See, like that was I
No
mean,
wonder you never used to get in trouble.
Be right back at school acting the same way.
Grandma was like, not my baby.
I know this is kind of like a spin-off, but let's just say that y'all did have kids. How would you go about disciplining your child?
Exactly how I was disciplined.
How are you like make it into
Make it
a-
make sense.
No, like speak of it.
You have boundaries. You have rules. You have this. You step out of them.
You would.
There's going to be
You would
consequences.
whoop your child.
You damn right.
What would qualify for a butt whooping?
You talk back to me. You don't do what I say after I've told you. After I've told you to do it. Like
I want to try, what's it called?
if you
Soft
say gentle parenting, I
wanna
swear to
try
God,
it.
but that bullshit.
For my first child, I want to use the
Damn, how many you have?
Effective, positive parenting.
Yes,
There was a video that I
I don't
had
want to
seen.
beat my child, but I feel like I'm gonna whoop that ass at some point.
You damn right.
But it's gonna happen regardless. But I want to try being soft with my child.
Because it is.
Everybody
it's a real
wants to
skill.
at first.
Mm-mm.
It's all about like your control too,
Right.
because you can only do so much.
I feel like
That's
I
how.
need to grow with my child.
If you,
Oh.
I think
Okay.
what it is I've learned well with like my pets in a sense because they're almost like children. So there was a video that I had seen there. It's like instead of like speaking of the negative, speak of the positive. Like instead of like say you want your children to eat at the table, instead of saying don't eat at the couch, say eat at the table. Every time you like put that positive statement in their head, it wires their brain to say don't eat at the couch. Every time they're gonna think about that, like don't eat at the couch. They're probably gonna go eat at the couch. It just instead of like you see what I'm saying though?
I
Like
understand what you're saying, yes.
Instead of putting a negative statement in the brain, put a positive statement. Eat at the table. Eat at the table. Eat at the table. Like it's just.
I see that.
Because you know, black parents use a lot of like negative language sometimes, so I feel like I want to be better than that.
Everybody comes from a different upbringing. For me, I would not, if I had a child, I would not shelter them as much as I was sheltered because you were too.
I was a military child, so it's like I was. That comes with the sheltered lifestyle.
Right, and my dad was former military, so I'm sure that's what made him like that. So I don't know. I knew a lot about certain things, but I guess I was being sheltered to protect me from certain things. And of course, you want to protect your child, but at the same time, when I got to a certain age, I'm trying to beat everybody ass at that point. So it's like, no, I wouldn't want my child to have to go through that.
The proper exposure,
Right.
I'm assuming. Yeah, I would see, like, if I was, the way I would want to handle this is, like, to sit down and, like, for one, being present in a child's life as much as possible was hard, probably, for some parents, because they, either if, like, they don't come from I'm not going to say a broken home, but, like, it wasn't a complete family.
It was a different family dynamic. You can't
Yeah,
say
I
that.
think
Yeah, you can't say it wasn't.
that's why I had to pause, because
Yeah.
that didn't come out right. Because the family could be a mom and then a daughter, and that's it. That's still a family.
Right.
So, gosh, I lost my train of thought. If you're working all the time, just imagine that. Like, you're a single parent and you're working all the time. Like you're
Going on that, like how I was brought up. It was like,
Right, because my shit almost gone.
I know I'm a little buzzed,
Oh,
but
damn.
like we grew up
Thing then kicked in too.
and we had the luxury of like our family was like very close, and like all three of my parents all worked, and so in the mornings we'd get the bus on at my grandparents, we'd get off at my grandparents, they'd feed us lunch or whatever, and then when one of the parents got home, that's where we went to their house to a certain age. And then once we got old enough to take care of ourselves, we just go straight on home. But at the same time, like we all knew the rules. Like we knew I could tell you to this day, like there were rules that you could and couldn't do. You don't want to step out of them.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that too. There was a bunch of rules. That's kind of why I felt sheltered as fuck, because maybe there was too many rules for me. I think it was. Go ahead.
No, I agree. I mean, because like you every time you feel like you did something or you asked something or you were trying to do, there was a stipulation with it.
Right. It's like I don't want my kids to. And my mom, she never really put me through that. It was more of my dad. We had a great relationship, but it was more of my dad that I was feeling like I had to walk on eggshells with in all of this, and I don't want my kids to have to feel like that.
No, they shouldn't have to. Yeah, I never felt like walking on eggshells.
Yeah, but you were cautiously watching what the hell you did to make sure you didn't get in trouble.
Well, yeah.
And mine was just like times 5.
Yes, yeah, mine was never like that. I knew, like, to this day, during the school year, school nights, you had to be in bed or at home by 10. Weekends, you had to be home by midnight. You know, those were the main rules.
I'm still kind of curious to know, like, how you would feel like positive parenting would be outside of just like speaking to the child.
I feel like it's more so about preparing my child for the world. Speaking to my child as if other people were talking to my child. Effective communication, none of that babying shit. But
Mm-mm.
Do you
Yeah.
think it's like a bad thing to kind of coddle your child like early ages? Like, you know, it's like when some people like just speak to the child like in a childish manner instead of just like speaking to them as a human or just you know
I
what
would
I'm
want to
saying?
speak to my child as a human being. Like, he's not a dog, or she's not a
Right,
dog, so
right.
I'm not gonna treat them like
You,
that.
you guys want a toy? Like that? Yeah, they're children, but at the same time, it's like I'm gonna talk. You ever? I seen like his video with Wiz Khalifa, like how he speaks to his children. Like, and it's such a. I don't know how like to put it in words, but when he talks to them, he talks to them the same way that I would speak to you guys.
Right.
You know, in a sensible manner, just
That's
like
how a child
like no,
learns.
like no, son,
Right.
that's not how we do this. This is how we are supposed to do this. And you know what I'm saying? Because some people like they talk. No, if you act right, we will get you a toy or get you McDonald's or something like that. I'm like, no, like son, this is not
Yeah.
how we.
It's not a negotiation.
You don't have to prod
Well-
this child every time I want you to do something.
Right. Well, it's just I'm trying to figure out how I want to say this because it's just like you just want to speak to your child as a person.
As
a
if
business.
as if you were talking to yourself, basically.
Correct.
Right.
In the mirror.
Right. Because I mean, I want you to develop in a mature like sense, you know. Because I don't know, like when I grew up, there was a lot of things that like I came in contact with that I didn't have a lot of exposure, so I didn't know how to handle certain situations. You know what I mean? Like there was kids that were talking about like sex or they would fight, and I wasn't used to that because I spent most of my life growing up, and all I was focused on was grades, and I come home, I go outside, I play with some friends, but I had like military friends, so they were never around that type of like stuff. Their parents wouldn't have condoned that either. So when it came time for me to face these things, like I never knew how to handle that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been in altercations where I felt like I should have stuck up for myself better. You know? And then there's kids who were just like they grew up in that survival lifestyle because they weren't sheltered like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So
That's what I mean when I say I want my child to be prepared for the world.
correct.
Right.
Yeah. And I agree with that. You know, I'm gonna tell my child, because you know, my parents never told me if somebody hits you, you hit them back, kind of thing. Like it was just like, you need to go get somebody or something like that.
Go
right?
get somebody.
Yeah.
It was naturally instead of somebody hits you, hit their ass back.
Yeah, you hit them back.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I took that to heart.
Yeah. Like my mom.
but I never had that.
Right.
I never had that type of family dynamic to where it's like I can go get family. It's like all I had was myself and my sister, but we was never around each other like in same classes like that. So like I felt like I was just an outsider. So I would make a small group of friends, and then like you grow up and you're just like you don't know what's good for you and what's not. So that's how I feel like a lot of kids nowadays, like they don't know what's good for them and what's not, so they end up getting in the wrong situations, and then that's how they fuck their lives up.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Or like I said, the way I look at it is like you've got these kids running here acting like fucking idiots, and it's just like they didn't have any discipline. Their parents let them just do whatever the fuck they wanted
Right.
with no consequences. They're like, all right, yeah, we're gonna do this. You know, it's like I said, we grew up. It's like we drank, smoked, did other stuff that we knew we weren't supposed. I knew that I wasn't supposed to be doing it. I did it just like Jalisa said. I'm on tiptoe around them boundaries to make sure I don't get caught. And I thought I did a pretty good job. Comes to find out I didn't do such a great job. Just
And I'm not gonna say I got caught with everything that I wasn't supposed to do, but a lot of it I definitely got caught doing.
right.
A lot of it.
But like talking to my dad now, like he was telling, he's like, yeah, he goes, I knew what you were doing, a lot of what you were doing. He says, but you never got the police involved, so we're good. And I was like, I'll take that.
Oh man, yeah, I did some dumb shit too growing up. So.
But yeah, like I said, the whole time.
I'm not gonna self-incriminate myself on camera.
There's statutes of limitations, so yeah, you can.
Well,
Which is empty.
It's empty.
right.
I'm trying to get the end of
You
it.
sucking the fucking styrofoam at that point.
Tell your story.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you all I can.
Okay, fine. You don't talk about.
I just prefer not to.
But yeah, it's,
Self-incrimination.
Jesus
30
Christ.
years later.
Right.
But yeah.
I admit it finally.
Like the thing that sticks out in my head, like I've smoked.
Damn SWAT team come fucking flying through the door. Well, here I go. Hi guys.
They used this episode 23, to convict you.
See you guys in about 4 podcasts.
Where's Daniel?
Daniel's missing. No, he's not.
We know where he is.
Someone
Right?
comment.
Our net worth is gonna go up.
He did 5 to 10 right now. He all right.
Someone comments, "Where's Daniel?" I'm like, "Thanks for the comment." I start your business.
Visiting hours on Saturday.
Just avoid the
You
question.
want to write him?
You know,
You
you got.
didn't see that, bro.
Please put some money on my books. I like Uncrustables.
You like hot Cheetos?
And the Doritos in the green bag.
In the green bag.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, like to this day, like I was saying, to this day, like I've smoked for years, and yeah, I knew I wasn't supposed to be smoking, but we would smoke cigarettes the whole fucking night in the truck. My stepmom would get in her vehicle the next morning, like, who's been smoking? I don't know. Never. She knew I was smoking, but I was not admitting it. And so, but that was something I knew I wasn't supposed to do. I wasn't going to get my ass beat for it, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some stuff like that too growing up where I would not admit it, but you keep asking me the same shit. So I know you know, but I'm not going to let you know.
You know
what
too
you
much.
know is true.
You know too much.
Right.
Way
Why you
too-
know all this?
So
I left all the hints behind me.
We was bad, Daniel was good.
Daniel was good.
Daniel knew he was gonna get that ass whooped. That's why.
Military
I
style.
was about to get my shit told the fuck up. Hell yeah.
So while we're talking about this, because everybody had the parent who like they didn't want to get a whooping by, but neither one of them want to get whooped by. But what
Who
was
you
one?
leaned more towards?
Yeah, if I'm gonna get my ass whooped, who am I gonna get my
Y'all
ass?
know y'all. Hey, look, man, my dad was the one that would get my shit right. Cause it was always like the wait till your dad gets home. Yup, wait till your dad gets home. And after that, like it was the whole, like the same shit with the report card. God forbid that I would get progress reports and then report cards. Progress reports tell you all the grades that you had,
Every fucking assignment.
every assignment that you had. Well, my shit was A, and then there was a fucking C, and then maybe an F, and that's the only thing that he was.
That was
worried
in
about.
classes after lunch.
Right. No, not
That 5 points. That's 5 points. You got to cut your ass.
And don't let that shit say I for incomplete. Why did you turn this in? Where was you at?
Why the fuck you got an F? Why the fuck you got an F? You didn't do the homework?
Then I used to lie my ass off before I got to high school and was like, well, I think everybody failed this. It was
Nobody
hard.
passed that.
Nobody passed that assignment.
We all failed. Don't worry about it.
So y'all just gonna be dumb together? I
Yeah.
guess.
High five, bitch. We together.
The same class, walking partners and all.
I don't remember that assignment.
We didn't even get that. The son passed it out.
Right.
I never heard of mine wasn't grades, but to answer, mine was the opposite. See, because for those out there, my mom and my stepmom are sisters. And I am terrified of both of them whenever they want to get an ass whooping.
We'll talk off camera.
We'll talk off camera. You know his.
I know, but it's her though. She just said.
Yeah.
I need y'all to rewind about 10 seconds back and look at her.
Look at her face.
Highlight of the week.
But both of them, like, I don't know what kind of upbringing they had, but I was terrified to get my ass whooped by either one of them. My dad, I love my dad and I have the utmost respect for my dad, but I've asked him this as an adult, like, like you do know we.
I ain't dying to I swear to God.
We didn't mind getting our ass whooped by you. And he was like, I know. My dad apparently was abused as a kid, so he didn't want to raise his kids that way. So he was always scared he was going to hurt us if he was giving us a whooping. So the minute he starts whooping, the minute you make that, that, you know that sound. You clench that butt, you're like, he would stop.
I think that was a ringtone.
Probably start doing that before it even started.
So he'd get like one or two licks. He's like, okay, there you go. Like, okay, and you run off.
I used to double up on some like underwear and shit, and I like, did it hurt? Yeah.
But my mom and my stepmom, they didn't give a fuck. You could be laying on the floor bleeding and dying. They're still gonna they'll wait for you to heal.
Oh, not again.
Are you okay, baby?
What the fuck is this again?
Are you good? Are you good now? Yes, ma'am.
So, to answer the question, I think for whoopings, I lean towards my mom more because she was gentle and
She was gentle.
and she normally would forget that it was time for me to get a whooping because my sister was getting in trouble at that point. I wasn't. So when it was time for me to get a whooping, it'd be like, she don't remember. Great. My dad, he'll wait until I'm about to go to sleep or something. I thought I haven't got away with everything.
I forgot about the whole shit.
Fresh out the shower. Can you come see me for a second? I'm like, fuck.
That's what I get. That's why I get triggered when y'all say come see.
And then
come see.
And then until I got a little older, he would like make you pull your fucking pants down to get the whooping like bare ass, and I'm like, no.
Like it is still like in your living room. That one picture of you with you and your dad, and you're just like.
Yeah, I was about to get a whooping after that picture.
Like he's got this face and just like, help.
The only thing that's going up to is God.
Like it is my favorite picture of you just sitting there this little kid. Not even looking at the camera, looking off camera, begging for something.
Probably about 6 years old. Yeah, I knew I was about to get my ass whooped.
Well, to kind of wrap all that up.
Yes.
Anywho, if you're gonna handle your children, handle them the way you need to handle them. McDonald's or not, handle them the way you need to handle them. Communicate, and
Bring your stepkids to McDonald's.
No.
If y'all have a relationship,
Just bring the whole family something.
Pick up a pizza.
Get a pizza.
all or nothing.
Pizza.
Yeah.
Y'all all get one slice.
Right, and them bitches gonna be like that thick.
Hell yeah. I'm finna super. Can y'all cut that extra?
Can you cut it in squares instead of like a pie, please?
Into 30 seconds of a pizza. But yeah, so there's kind of been this whole thing going around with the monkeypox that everybody's been talking about.
That's a transition.
So
Jesus.
It went real quick.
yeah. So if your friend is scratching their neck or they've been eating one too many bananas lately,
Bitch.
That's so fucked up.
Fucking monkey.
I didn't say it. I didn't fucking say it. You did.
I'm scared of breaking out. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Jesus Christ.
And there ain't no cure yet.
So apparently the monkeypox has been out, or it's been a thing since the 70s.
They
Yeah.
said that same shit about COVID.
There is a vaccine. They have a vaccine out for it.
So just imagine you being assigned as like a person. Like can you find a cure for the monkeypox? Just imagine that.
It is available.
Here?
I don't know about here, but
Shoot me up, bitch.
What you doing it again? Why is it in your shoulder like that?
Beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep, bitch.
I can see it.
I'll be at work like this. I got the monkeypox vaccine.
Somebody did a YouTube, like apparently got monkeypox and like did a YouTube of like the transition of like what the sores and everything look like as it's that shit rough. That's like
that's what worries me because everything is a fucking sore nowadays. Like you got herpes or monkeypox? What is it?
It was like some chicken pox on fucking steroids.
Right, like they're just naming animals now at this point.
No.
Right. Next thing you know, we get the Harambe pox. Who knows?
The what?
Harambe pox.
What the fuck is a Harambe? Is that one of the Pokemon things?
It should have been.
Put the mic one time, see it again.
The gorilla.
Is it a Pokemon?
I'm so sorry.
The one that was dragging the boy?
Yeah, the one that.
Harambe, I choose you.
I thought that shit was funny as fuck. Dragging that little kid.
Because why
the
his ass
kid
down there?
The kid looked like he was having fun.
It was like
I was sliding through your
it was like a It was like a 2-week period.
Yeah, I have pork. Yeah, I'll be right back, y'all.
I smell like chili out there.
It's pork chop.
It got a little right.
It got a little meaty.
So Curtis is gonna go check on his dinner that he's cooking right now. So while we're
gonna
but
mingle amongst ourselves.
Now that I know that, I remember there was like that whole like 2-week period where everybody was like screaming justice for Harambe. I was like, what the fuck is Harambe? It went out of my mind.
The Harambe pox.
Harambe pox.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I said, it's like this video and like the swords were like
Yeah, I
the
can't.
size of dimes and shit.
Really?
I was like, holy fuck.
That's fucking intense.
And they said like the symptoms are like you could carry it for like 4 or 5 days before not even knowing you have. It's like you start getting a fever and stuff like that, and then you start seeing sores popping up everywhere.
No fucking.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, see, like that's the thing. Like,
this
this is
vaccine. I'm gonna go get the vaccine. I got to.
right. Because imagine you're at work and all of a sudden a motherfucker come in and
Them bitches looking good.
Can I get a UG with that? What the fuck is
UG?
on your face?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, wow, who punched you? Oh, get out, get out, get out!
Right.
And I be seeing them all them old people with the scabs and shit, and I'm scared.
I am
And
too.
they be picking at it and shit. Like I had a lady come into work one
It's
time.
like you still got blood on
Like
your
she
face.
was like this. She was over here trying to explain her situation, and she's just like, she got done talking, and I'm just like going over everything, and I'm looking. She's just like,
Digging.
They be spitting and
yeah.
all.
I told her straight up. I said, don't pick at it. Don't pick at it.
Let it be. Turn them loose.
Turn him loose.
Turn them loose, Lord.
I'm fucking dead.
Go to church. Go to church. Do something.
Just don't stop picking your scabs at my table.
Stop it.
But yeah,
Oh
no,
my
y'all be
God.
careful out there, please. Thank
Them
you.
bitches be dirty.
Oh,
Right. It's the summer. It's hot.
yeah.
We already.
Y'all ready to get some hazmat suits?
I mean,
I'm just gonna stay in the house.
ooh,
You a man?
Huh?
I
I'm gonna
can't
stay
tell.
at the house.
yeah, you can't say that on camera.
I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna stay at the house.
You gonna get a job working from home?
You know, that's the trend right now, so maybe.
Right.
Here we are. I'm fucking dead.
Them fucking monkeypox.
Oh, just y'all be careful, please. And if you get it, stay at home.
Please.
That's all we ask.
It's a what? It is. It's a trend.
A trend.
Shut the fuck up,
sit,
Ain't
sit there and shut the fuck up in your goddamn sweatshirt in the middle of fucking August.
It's not a
Are you
trend.
doing shots?
Bro, he really fucking is.
I'm comfortable.
Okay, and
How?
y'all done walked up in here with these fucking long sleeves.
You know what? It's not my fault that you can't regulate your body temperature.
I regulate my body temperature. I
How
just
do we
run
know
hot.
yours isn't regulated?
Regulated. That's how God said right there. You will not. You will not.
I'm gonna not come for him today. But how do you know yours isn't?
He shook the devil off your shoulder.
No, he's still right there. He's still right there.
Right there.
He shook the other one off.
Hanging
He's right
out,
here.
just hanging out.
He said, Ricky. Regulated.
Oh God.
I don't know. Shit. I don't know. I'm active. I think I should be good.
I mean,
But you're always cold.
It's the
It's
sweat.
100 degrees outside.
Yeah. When it's 100 degrees outside, I take my shit off. But when it's 60 fucking negative degrees inside, I
It's
put
not. It's
I put a
70.
sweat-
well, see, okay, so just like my dad is one of those people. He is very similar to y'all. Like right now, like he's probably, let's say 45, so he's probably at home. He's probably got a pair of sweatpants on with some socks rolled up over the sweatpants because he stays cold. Like I don't understand.
My AC probably over 67 right now. I'm ready to go.
And like he's.
But you always cold.
Yeah.
Yo.
I can wear a hoodie in my house.
Right, and turn a little AC.
Right.
I'm weird. I got the damn fucking AC on with a little damn mini heater right there blowing my feet.
I got all the fans on in a blanket.
There is no heat source going on in my house.
It's all AC
No.
and
All
fans.
AC.
And in the wintertime, that shit is probably gonna be on 70.
Right.
Yeah, man, there's a fan blowing too.
Yeah, I'm there like
I
this.
actually
I feel good.
I do.
during the winter I
It's
typically
like
keep
the
my heat
perfect
at 64. I keep it at 64.
I can't. I ain't
My
gonna
heat
lie. I
would be
can't.
at
I want no damn fan.
Or off.
Or off. I can't. I'll just, I can't deal with it. I don't like.
What?
Can't
I
deal with
need
it.
you to deal with this drink you got.
I'm enjoying myself. Get off my dick.
Yeah, because I finished mine. It was the same thing.
I'm sorry. Drink up.
Drink it like a slut. There you go.
Ooh.
Oh!
All right, guys.
Oh,
So
that
we're still recording. Y'all actually. Maybe now I ain't go.
That straw was not ready for that.
Well, guys, that wraps up another episode of Triple B and J.
Hashtag OnlyFans. Anyway.
Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and turn your notification bell on so you can see when we post new content. And that wraps another episode. Y'all have a good evening.
Bye.